We invite you to call or text or email family, business associates, or friends and tell them that we are on the air right now. Or they can join us on the internet by logging in to www.blogtalkradio.com/NABWIC or by phone at 714-459-3918 and press 1 to join our conversation with questions or comments.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's another wonderful Wednesday here at Nabwi Talks. I am your host, Zakia Flagg from Flagg Labor out of Union, New Jersey, offering manpower on demand to general contractors and builders. We have another exciting episode here today. We're going to be speaking with Rhonda Stevens-Grayer from WT Stevens Construction, and we are very, very excited to hear from her today. But before we do that, let me just share with you that our $1 billion luncheon is going to be Wednesday, October 16th, and we are going to have a special tribute to Miss Keisha L. Powell. She's the general manager at WSS Water. We will be highlighting water utilities on that $1 billion luncheon. So please don't miss it. Again, it's October 16th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can tune in or you can go to nabwic.org and register so that you are able to participate with our $1 billion luncheon. We would love to have you there. But in the meantime, as always, let me go ahead and introduce our in-studio rock stars who are behind the scene and get this show going every single week. We have Jackie Perry, our marketing chair, and our hero here at Nabwic. She is the owner of Data Architect IT Consulting Company. We have Ursula Odoms, a motivational speaker, owner of Ursula's History Shop. And Ursula has dedicated herself to making sure women's voices are heard. We have Gerald Barnes, our partner and consultant extraordinaire. Mr. Barnes has supported many business owners in achieving their dreams and goals. And we have Ms. Odidra Williams. She is going to be our main host today, and you will hear from her later as she chats it up with Ms. Rhonda Stevens-Grayer. Odidra Williams is a real estate developer and economic reporter. But before we move forward, you guys already know, I have to introduce you to Miss Ann. She is our leader. She is the powerhouse behind MCO Construction and the visionary founder of Nabwic. Ann's leadership and consistency has paved the way for many, many, many women in the construction industry. So without further ado, Miss Ann, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How in the world are you this morning?
I am wonderful and blessed.
Listen, Zakia, I tell you, every single day, I am so very excited. I have recently been called the mother of a movement, and that title, I think I'm going to wear it. I'm excited today as I hail from New Jersey. Yes, I'm in New Jersey. Just coming back from New Orleans, attending the WEF conference. And for those of us that may not be familiar with WEF, it's water, the Water Association, one of many. But I think that it is the number one. It was held at the Convention Center in New Orleans with 20,000 people. But that being said, what was so powerful in preparation for the podcast today is I was accompanied on behalf of Nabwic, accompanied by one of the other Stevens sisters, Beverly Stevens, if you will.
Wow.
And we had the privilege of attending on Sunday, Life and Water. And the reason this becomes so vitally important to us is because that idea was spun here years ago when we started doing our Nabwi $1 billion luncheon in water for Black. Yes, and to sit in a summit inside of an organization for 20,000 people. Ms. Ike Patel, the outgoing president, African-American female, the first, outgoing president of that phenomenal organization who we've had here on this podcast and as a part of our $1 billion luncheon, she, along with a group of individuals, put together this summit for Blacks in Water. And I would tell you, for the first time, being in the water industry myself as a business owner, as we help elevate other Black women in water, it was so amazing to sit with 200 people who looked like me, 200 on the waiting list. And this is just the second year they've done it at this level. But to have everybody who was anybody who looked like us in the water industry in that place.
That's exciting.
It's exciting, but this is why we are the voice of this industry. So I had to share all of that as we tee up one of my favorite women in water, Miss Rhonda Greer. So I cannot continue to go on and on and on and on, although I could, but instead I would just say, let's get this party started.
All right. There we have it. And when we hear that, we know we have to do just that. So with that said, let me tell you guys a little bit about Miss Rhonda Stevens Gray. We're going to sit, like I said, Odidra Williams is going to sit down with her to explore her journey of leading a family business to new heights. Rhonda shares her strategies for scaling the business from $750,000 to over $10 million in revenue. Yes, you heard that correctly. And her vision for empowering Flint's youth through partnerships with educational institutes. Tune in to hear Rhonda's inspiring story of leadership, growth, and community impact. With that said, guys, we're going to take a very, very short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have Odidra in the studio with Ms. Rhonda Stevens Gray. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Camille Dominguez. I'm from HAX, and this has been a great year for us to be a member and a sponsor for Nabwi. It is truly an amazing organization to create connections and friendships that not only grow our personal development, but it also grows our professional careers, our businesses, etc. It's been a great organization. It's been an awesome year.
Good morning and welcome to another fantastic episode of Nabwi Talks. We are so excited today to have Rhonda Greer with us today in the studio, and she is going to just wow us with her story and share a lot of important information with us. So welcome, Rhonda. How are you this morning?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I know that just like last week, we were talking about storms, and so I know there's another hurricane right now in Florida. We're praying for everyone there, and we know that NAB will be instrumental in helping with the repair of whatever catastrophes come out of that. So we just want to send a special prayer up for all the people who are impacted by that. And we'll get started. So Rhonda Greer, you have had a tremendous business opportunity to be able to continue to carry the torch that was started by the generation before you and to elevate your company. So I know that a lot of people, one of their goals is to pass on generational wealth. And we know there's a lot of business owners who want to pass their business on to the next generation, but don't always have anyone who's interested or have the opportunity to do that. So a lot of businesses, they don't really go into succession planning how they maybe should or could, but your family has had the opportunity to do that. So I would love for you to just start by telling a little bit about your business and how it got started and how you and your sister and your family, how you guys are leading the charge and what you're doing now.
Okay, so actually we didn't plan for succession. We really kind of just fell into it. But as I think about it, I guess we really did plan for it. We just didn't realize that that's what we were doing. But I came from corporate America, and to be honest with you, I did not really see myself in construction. But when my dad passed in 2002, I saw what he meant to the people whose lives he was able to touch in our community, and I saw how he worked, and I saw how gratifying the construction portion of the work that he did was to him. And so I wanted to, it inspired me to attempt to continue his legacy of really providing those opportunities. So in 2002, when he passed, I incorporated the business and I continued some of the services that he was providing. But I also wanted to broaden it and create some other opportunities, for the company. So my sister and I decided that we were going to incorporate the business and expand the business. And I will tell you that I worked, excuse me, as many entrepreneurs do. I worked my regular job, during the day, and then I would help to do paperwork and market the business, after hours and on the side. And of course, that was really hard. But, when you're first getting started as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's really hard to, just walk away from your job because, it takes time to build up your business such that it can replace your income. So I did that for a very long time. And, the other members of my family, I had brothers that worked in the business and they held the business up while I was still working and able to provide financial support for the business and to help it grow. And in 2013, I just decided that, I was going to, give it a shot of leaving my job and, delving into the business. And I did that in 2013. And so we had pivoted to doing some commercial rehab. I wanted to originally say that we did, my dad originally did asphalt and he did demolition and he did excavation. And we also continued those services, but we then pivoted to also doing commercial rehab because we live in Michigan, so we have a cold climate. And so we don't do very much work during the winter months. So commercial rehab kind of, kept the business going during those winter months. So, and we were able to build some, awesome relationships in the Flint community, and that kept us busy during the winter. And then, when weather broke, we'd go back to our core business. And in 2016, the water crisis happened. And as a result of, the work that we did, we were able to very easily pivot to doing water line replacements. And I'll tell you, it was during our down season, and they asked if they were doing a pilot project. They wanted to do some digging and look in the ground, and something that we knew was part of that project. He said, "Hey, you guys aren't using your machine right now. Can you guys come over and dig for us while we, try to do some installations on the lead service line that are, underneath the ground?" And this was just as the water crisis in Flint was happening, and we did that. We extended that, favor to them, at no charge. And then several months later, the funding came out it was declared an emergency in Flint. The funding came out, and we were able to, progressively bid on small projects. Of course, we had a partner that came in that was not from this area and wanted to participate, and so they were able to provide, the bonding, for the project, and so we were really partners in the project. And stop me at any time, because if you, I'll just move right up until what I'm doing today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I happen to. This was a very high-profile project that we were on. I mean, it was in the news every day because of, the crisis in Flint. And I met one of our members, Eileen Henry. She called me on the phone because we were the first minority contractors to ever have a contract that large in the city of Flint. So it made the news, and she called me. And it's very odd because I typically don't take phone calls from people that, from phone numbers that I don't know, first of all, on my personal phone. And I typically, kind of shun, meeting people because I really like that. I'm kind of a workaholic, so I work really hard behind the scenes. And so she asked if she could meet me because she was so nice, and I said yes. And so now here I am 7 years later, a member of Nabwi. And I'll just say that, we worked on the Flint project until 2019, and we had a really hard time with the pandemic because we could not go in people's homes. And so it's, for 2020, 2021, and most of 2022, we had a really difficult time because we were just, the bonding capacity that we had gained, we lost that. And so it was really hard for us to start back to bidding on projects. And I'll say that in 2019, I became really active in Nabwi. And Miss Ann, our fearless chairman, is my mentor. And I'm watching everything she does, and I hear everything she says. So she is, even though she may not think it, she is, but I am being tutored every step along the way. And I'll say that one of the things that was most important to me is that we read Think and Grow Rich. And it helped me to stay focused and be intentional as, I'm on the journey to, make sure that we get back to where we were and then go even further than that. And I'll say stop me for questions at any time.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you there because I feel like if I don't, I won't have any questions to ask because you keep answering them before I get you. Because my next question was going to be Nabwi, how you found out about it and when you joined. So you already answered that, but I would love it if you would just go a little bit into the personal side of how Nabwi has impacted you, because I know that you were saying that your company was the first to get such a large contract in Flint. But what has it meant to you as a Black woman in construction to be able to be in Nabwi, the National Association of Black Women in Construction?
Okay, so what Nabwi has really done for me is that I really, I was in the business, but I wasn't in the room with people who looked like me, and that people who I could pick up a phone and call and ask a question if I needed an answer to something, because those were not the relationships that I was building. And as you know, we're in the construction industry, is very much so male dominated. And so it was not uncommon for me to be in a room where I was the only person that looked like me in color and gender. And so what Nabwi did for me is that it gave me not only the ability to be able to have someone to pick up a phone and call and ask a question, and if they don't know the answer, then somebody that they know knows the answer. So it gave me that feeling of not being on an island alone. But it also gave me, strategies as to how to scale my business. And it's the hard work that, goes into the work that we do here at Nabwi. Also, I was always a very shy person. So it really kind of brought me out of, working in my business and working on my business, and gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to speak about my business and about the work that I had done, and also speak about Nabwi and the work that it's doing.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I love your story, and I love how passionate you are in sharing it. I do want to ask one question, which is going back to the legacy that you spoke about with your company. So I'm sure there are many, many gems that your father shared with you, but what is something that you learned by watching what he did that has, or something that he said that has stuck with you, that has impacted the way that you transitioned your business today?
Well, I think that, and he wasn't a great talker, so he did not communicate a lot, but his character and how he carried himself, he was a very hard worker, and he would let nothing deter him. And so I think that I got that from him, because he wasn't this great orator, didn't do a lot of talking, just liked to work hard. And so his character was that he always wanted to be fair with people. He always wanted to work hard. He would give people an opportunity. And I think those are the things that I garnered from his, his walk, his walk, his talk, and his character.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fantastic. You know that there's so many business owners who that is their dream is to have their children or there's someone in their family to take over their business. So I love that for your family. We're going to take a very, very short commercial break, and then when we come back, we will be talking more with Rhonda Greger from WT Stevens. Okay, so maybe
We are so excited to have you listening to NAB.
well, it seems we have a little bit of technical difficulty with our commercial, so that's fine. We will just continue in the conversation. So, Rhonda, you, before the show got started, Miss Ann was talking a little bit about her and your sister going to a conference in Blacks in Water. I know that wasn't the conference that they went to, but there was a session in Blacks in Water. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Um, you know, what is the strength? What is the force? Why is it important that we are in this industry? Could you talk a little bit about that? What Blacks in Water is, and just what has been your, I guess, just some overall like an overarching importance of what it is to be in the water industry.
I think what I think is really important is that oftentimes we don't realize where industries and where opportunities are moving. And we have not traditionally been in the water space, especially in our jobs on the ground. And the money is, if the construction industry really has very good paying jobs that you don't necessarily need an education to take advantage of. And so oftentimes we haven't known about those opportunities that exist in the water industry. And it is exhilarating to see so many people of color in water. And as she was around the room talking to them, finding out that they started out maybe as a janitor or maybe as, an inspector, but now they're heading departments. So there are opportunities in the water space with people of color, and to be able to see them and to be able to touch them and hear their stories and also build relationships with them was phenomenal. And so that's what she gains from being in a room with, 200 people that are people of color in the water industry from every level.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for young women or young ladies or people in general? I always love to hear you talk. I think that just the way you share different information is just, it's just very soothing and encouraging. So do you have any advice, or there may be a young lady who's interested in getting in construction, doesn't really know what to do? Do you have any advice for that person?
I do. And I think that joining organizations that are doing what you want to do or can guide you into doing what you want to do. I'll say that one of the things that I didn't do was join organizations, and maybe that's why I felt like I was on an island and didn't have anyone that I could go to. But Nabwi gave that to me, because there's so many different, even though I'm in the water space, there's so many in construction. There's so many different avenues to construction. You could provide support services for construction. You can be in real estate and be in construction. So even if you don't want to know what to do, there's probably somebody in this organization that can guide you into what you think you might want to do. So
I think it's really important to be part of organizations that are doing some of the things that you think you might want to do, because not only do you learn information of perhaps about the field that you want to be in, but you build relationships with people that you might do business with in the future. I've done business with several of the Nabwi members, that are now part of Nabwi. So it's not only do you gain information, but you get access to opportunities. So I would say, being a part of organizations like this is really important.
Absolutely. And if you are listening and you're interested in learning more about NABWIC or potentially becoming a member, we invite you to go to nabwic.org, which is NABWIC.org, and you can find out more about what we're doing. Of course, Zakiya mentioned earlier that next week we actually have our $1 billion luncheon in water utilities. And so every month we have a $1 billion luncheon. And we have usually over 100 people online and more than that who register. So come and join us next week on next Wednesday, where we will have the $1 billion luncheon in water utilities. And also, if you just want to learn more about us, like I said, you can follow us on any of our social media channels. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. Please subscribe to our channels and learn more about us. We have events almost every week, but definitely every month that you can become a part of. And so we just invite you to join us. So Rhonda, you mentioned Think and Grow Rich a little bit earlier, but is there any other books that you would love to share with us that have helped you along your journey, or that you feel like will be great for us to take part in reading?
Yes, just the book in general.
Having a hard time. Are you able to hear me? Having a hard time hearing
We are having some difficulties right now, technically. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Nabwi Talks.
Hi, my name is Camille Dominguez. I'm from HAS, and this has been a great year for us to be a member and a sponsor for Nabwi. It is truly an amazing organization to create relationships and friendships that not only grow our personal development, but it also grows our professional careers, our businesses. It's been a great organization. It's been awesome.
She's back. She's just 786. I don't know her number. Oh, let's give that her. Say another number.
My name is Victor Harris. I am a business development manager for CMTS, family-owned business and construction, and excited to be here as part of the Nabwi team. Nabwi, National Association of Black Women in Construction. Oh.
Hello, and welcome back to Nabwi Talk. Rhonda, are you still with us?
I am.
Okay, so we lost you for a second. You were telling us about books that you were reading, so if you don't mind going back to that.
Okay, yes. So I will tell you that Think and Grow Rich is the only book that I've ever read that I go back to over and over and over again. So it is one of
So we are obviously having some technical issues today. We're not able to hear Rhonda Greer anymore, but she has been a fantastic guest. And what we're going to do now, if there's anyone in the studio who wants to come on and just give us a last word, but if not, then we'll go ahead and end the call today since we're having technical issues. But I feel like we've gotten an amazing amount of information from Rhonda with WT Stevens, and you can find them at WT Stevens. And that's STEVENS.com. And you can see the amazing work that they're doing. And we appreciate Rhonda and all that she and her sister are doing with the Nabwi organization. There's so much that I have personally learned, and I know that others have within being an organization, about how to be a business person, how to represent yourself, and just how to just be a stand-up leader in the community that I've learned from watching them in the organization. So I just want to say thank you for all that you do, Rhonda, and all that you do, W.T. Stevens. Again, this is Nabwi Talks. I'm one of your hosts, Deidre. This has been an amazing episode. Please remember to like and follow us on all of our social media, which is YouTube, and we're on Instagram, Facebook. We may create our own social media platform one day. I'm not sure. But thank you so much. So from all of us to you at Nabwi Talks, we want to wish you to have a great day, and we're praying for everyone affected by the hurricane. Please make sure that you come back on next Wednesday, with another episode of Nabwi Talks, and make sure that you register and sign up for the $1 Billion Luncheon. Have a fantastic day. This is Nabwi Talks.
This concludes our show. Thank you for listening to NABWIC, the National Association of Black Women in Construction. For more information about NABWIC and our membership, please visit us on the web at www.nabwic.org. We are the voice of Black women in construction. Have a great and prosperous day.